Hi, this is James Gordon of October Library here with my first top 5 list video. I've been wanting to do this for quite a while and I finally got around to doing one. Today I will be discussing the top 5 films that are better than the novels or short stories they are based on. These are my 5 following choices, what I like. And during my review I'll discuss a little bit about the film and why I like it over the novel or the short story it is based on. And without further ado, let's get into it. For my number 1 choice is Total Recall, based on the short story We Can Remember It for Your Whole Resale by Phil K. Dick. First published in Magazine of Fantasy and Science Fiction in April of 1966. And then later published in other collections by Phil K. Dick's work. Total Recall was released on June 1st, 1990, directed by Paul Verhoeven, screenplay by Ronald Shusett, Dan O'Bannon, and Gary Goldman. Plot. In 2084, construction worker Douglas Quaid is having dreams about Mars along with a mysterious woman. Quaid wants to visit Mars, believing there is something waiting for him. However, his wife Laura doesn't want to go, along with a civil war going on between rebels of Krato and the governor of Mars, Vilas Cohagen. Unsure what to do, Quaid then sees a commercial for Recall, a company that implants false memories of whatever you want, even a vacation. Quaid visits Recall and pays to have memories of him going to Mars, but gets a bonus of being a secret agent. However, something goes wrong and it's revealed that Douglas Quaid has been to Mars. He really was a secret agent and his real name is Carl Hauser. Recall refunds his money and sends him back home. When Quaid awakens, he is greeted by his friend Harry along with his co-workers who tried to kill him, causing Quaid to fight back. Returning home, Quaid is shocked to see Laura is also a secret agent and not really his wife. Armed men arrive, forcing Quaid to flee, and is nearly killed by them during a shootout in the subway. Laying low in a hotel, a man contacts Quaid through a video phone and leaves a big suitcase for him. Inside, it contains tools, spy gear, along with a video message from Hauser informing Quaid the war going on Mars, with his mission to bring down Cohagen and help Krato. He also states a failure is an option, knowing there is no going back. Quaid leaves Earth to go to the planet he's always dreamed of, learning who this mysterious woman is and aiding the rebels. But first, here's the plan. Get your ass to Mars. What did I like and didn't like? The whole film is just a blast to watch. Lots of action, over-the-top violence and gore, dark humor, satire elements within the story, and one-liners. The film adds more to Phil's short story, which was too simple and basic, and unlike in the short story, Total Recall goes from Earth to Mars, which in the film has impressive sets and well-shot scenery. Just love how the world of Total Recall looks, along with its dark future setting. However, the one element that stays in the film, like in the story, is the never-ending question of the whole event. Is it a dream or is it real? I also like how the film takes a spin on Douglas Quaid's wife, his friends and co-workers turning out to be secret agents, not people he thought they were. And lastly, there wasn't anything that I didn't like with the film. Enjoyed the whole film, and every actor played their character well. And my choice for number 2 is Die Hard, based off the novel Nothing Lasts Forever by Robert Thorpe, first published in 1979. Die Hard was released in July 15, 1988, directed by John McTiernan, screenplay by Job Stewart and Steve E. DeSura. Plot. NYPD officer John McClane is visiting his wife Holly Gennaro in Los Angeles as the relationship is on the brink of collapse after she left New York to take a job in LA for the Japanese company Nakatomi Corporation, which John is hoping of repairing it, see his kids for Christmas, and find a way to work out their problems. While there, John notices one of Holly's co-workers, Harry Ellis, has his eyes on John's wife, and he's a cocaine addict. Head executive of Nakatomi, Joseph Yorosho Tanaki, is hosting a party on Christmas Day. While waiting for the party and finish his conversation with his wife, John is trying on a stress reliever technique he was told by a passenger while on the flight to LA, since John hates flying, by taking his shoes and socks off, walking across the rug while making fists with his toes. Unsure how things will turn out, John calls Argyle, the limo driver who picked him up at the airport and was hired by Joseph to pick him up. While John is speaking with him, suddenly the phone lines go out. Then the party is crashed by a group of heavily armed terrorists led by their radical leader, Hans Gruber. John flees, only armed with his pistol and a few clips of ammo. He makes his way to the head office and witnesses Hans execute Joseph after refusing to hand over the codes to unlock the vault by shooting him in the head. John escapes and tries getting help by pulling the fire alarm. However, the terrorists call 911 and dismiss it as a false alarm while setting up Tony. John distracts him, gets into a fight, which they fall downstairs together, killing Tony as it breaks his neck. John takes the terrorist submachine gun, clips a van with cigarettes, lighter, along with CB radio. John goes onto the rooftop trying to send out a mayday call. However, John is met with skepticism from dispatch and gets into a firefight with the terrorists along with Carl, who's hell-bent on killing him after finding out John killed his brother Tony. When the police do show up, John learns what Hans' real plans are, and it's up to him to stop Hans and save the hostages, including his wife. What I liked and didn't like. Taking the basis of Robert Frump's novel, Nothing Lasts Forever, by improving many elements within the story along with characters. First, taking the old Joe Leland and replacing him with a much younger, smarter, yet dark-humored character of John McClane. And not once does John question his actions or waste time, unlike Joe Leland. The party scene is fully changed with classical music being played, with most of the employees of Nakatomi Corporation mostly young and middle-aged. Everyone is dressed sharply compared to Nothing Lasts Forever party, where people are passing off drinks, smoking joints, and dancing to disco music, which I couldn't imagine John McClane entering the party while everyone is dancing to Abba's Dancing Queen song. Many of the action sequences from Nothing Lasts Forever were improved, such as John's short fight against Tony, John using the submachine gun strap to reach another air vent, using a C4 bomb while attaching a computer screen to add weight onto an office chair and pushing him down the elevator shaft when the terrorists are shooting at police with a rocket launcher which explodes, killing the terrorists in the explosion. A more graphic execution scene of Joseph, and the most iconic scene of John tying a fire hose around him and jumping off the roof before Hans blows it up and swings down onto a window, pushes himself off the fixed sheet of glass, pumps a few rounds, and smashes through to get back inside the office building. I also like the brutal fight between John and Carl, which was in the novel. Hans' plan is also improved over Anton Gruber's mass murder-suicide to a robbery of stealing Nakatomi Corporation's bearer bonds. And unlike Mr. Rivers in Nothing Less Rare, which I didn't feel sorry for when he was killed since he was so greedy, I felt pity for Joseph, who was a kind, caring businessman. However, was glad to see the sleazy Ellis character get killed off after blowing John's cover, and there was nothing to like about him. The whole film was well shot with a solid cast of actors, lots of action scenes, and well shot scenery too. Also liked how John and Alpo are chatting with each other while John is patching himself up and getting to know each other versus Joe Leland chilling off every reporter that could talk to him over the CB radio. All the actors played their roles very well. What I didn't like were the extra added unlikable characters. Deputy Chief Dwayne Robertson is nothing but an asshole to everyone in the film, giving both John and Sergeant Alpo a hard time. The hungry news reporter Richard Thornburg, who only cares about reporting a big story to make him a big name in the news industry, has no regards to anyone's safety, threatens a maid worker to have John's children exposed on TV just to increase his news station ratings. And the two FBI agents, both named Johnson, were nothing but a bunch of pricks. Having no care for the hostages than to kill the terrorists in a trap, was glad to see them get killed off towards the end of the film. And last, the ending, which is a lot better than the dark ending from Nothing Lasts Forever. However, I would have liked it better if Dwayne and John are getting into a heated argument over what John did, Thornburg recording the whole thing when suddenly Carl bursts out of the Nakatomi Plaza and fires his machine gun, killing Dwayne, Thornburg along with his news crew, but wounds John. But he and his wife are saved by Alpo. Would have been a much wilder and surprising ending. Despite the unlikable characters, Die Hard is a big improvement over the novel it's based on, and it's one of the best action films of the 80s. And my choice for number 3 is Cobra, based off the novel A Running Duck or Fair Game by Paula Gosling, published in 1974. Cobra was released on May 23rd, 1986, directed by George P. Cosmos, screenplay by Sylvester Stallone. Plot. A man enters a supermarket in Los Angeles, then whips out a shotgun, begins blasting away while holding people hostage. Police and SWAT show up and have the whole store surrounded, but are unable to have the gunman come out or release any of the hostages. After the gunman tells a hostage to go, he kills him. The LAPD send in Lieutenant Marion Cobretti, codenamed Cobra, part of a special unit known as the Zombie Squad. Cobretti sneaks up on the gunman and kills him before he can shoot another hostage. Los Angeles has been hit with sudden acts of violence and murder, all linked to a doomsday cult that believes in killing the weak, leaving the strongest and smartest to rule the world. One of these members, dubbed by the media as the Night Slasher, who kills his victims with a razor-sharp and spiky knife. One night, model and businesswoman Ingrid Cadusa happens to witness a murder by this doomsday cult. They track her down, and after finish a modeling shoot, Ingrid barely escapes with her boss and another man and a security guard killed. She reports what happens to police and is placed into protective custody by Cobretti along with his partner, Sergeant Tony Gonzalez. The cult targets Ingrid and anyone else standing in their way. With no help from law enforcement, Cobretti takes matters into his own hands as he battles against this cult to keep Ingrid alive. What did I like and didn't like? Here's an example of a bad novel turned to a great action flick. In the novel of A Running Duck, Clara Randall bumps into a sharply dressed man with a briefcase containing documents. She tries helping him, but the man takes the documents and quickly flees. Later on, Claire hears news reports of people being killed, then finds herself targeted for assassination. First, she is shot in the arm in a crowded street, then her apartment is blown up. After this, Claire is placed into protective custody with Lieutenant Malchek, a ex-Vietnam vet who is a skilled sniper and specializes in hitman and contract killers. So they leave San Francisco and go to a cabin hidden within a thick forest. However, unlike the kind yet charming Cobretti, Lieutenant Marichek is an asshole who bosses Claire around, telling her what time to get up, what time to eat, take a shower, and what time to go to bed. Stallone takes the basis of this plot, changes the whole thing around till you get a much better story. Lots of action, one-liners, and going up against an insane cult members is way better than a group of hitmen trying to kill one model. Better crafted characters than from A Running Duck. Lastly, there isn't anything I didn't like about this film. As I said earlier, it's improvement over the source material. And my pick for number 4 is The Warriors, based off the novel The Warriors by Soy Yorrick, first published in 1965. The Warriors was released on February 9th, 1979, directed by Walter Hill, screenplay by David Shiver and Walter Hill. Plot. In New York City, a powerful gang leader, Cyrus, of the Gramercy Rifts, calls a midnight summit of all the city's gangs to the Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx. One of these gangs, the Warriors from Coney Island, attend the summit. Cyrus proposes to all the gangs to a permanent citywide truce and alliance that would allow the gangs to control the whole city together, since they collaboratively outnumbered the police by 3-1. Most of the gang members applaud this idea, but Lufer, the leader of the Rogues, shoots Cyrus dead. During the chaos, Lufer frames the leader of the Warriors, Cleon, for the murder, who is beaten to death. The remaining members escape while police officers raid the summit. The Rifts put a hit on the remaining members of the Warriors while they try to make it back to Coney Island using the subway system. However, it won't be easy, as every gang in the city is after them, along with the police as well. It's going to be a long night for the Warriors trying to get back to Coney. What I liked and didn't like. The Warriors is a classic. Walter Hill takes the basis of the novel and improves a lot from the novel. Many scenes from the novel were improved, along with fleshing out the characters of both the main gang and the others, with many of them standing out in the film. Well-shot action sequences, lovely scenery of the late 1970s NYC, a killer soundtrack by Barry Borza, a solid cast of actors playing as these armies of the night, and I like the Warriors name over the novel's gang name, the Coney Island Dominators. Unlike the novel, which is more darker tone, most of the gang members are unlikable, with 2 of the members having a pissing contest while on the subway train at the start of the novel. Most of the members of CID are arrested or killed off. Compared to the film, the Warriors where they lose only 3 members. One scene which I thought was dumb and defeats the purpose of the story is when, after the whole summit meeting, was when a member of CID tries calling a friend of theirs to pick them up, but they don't even wait for the ride, just take off anyway. And while they're trying to return home, all the members of CID are goofing around or trying to show off with other gangs roaming the streets and police looking to bust some skulls. These actions cost them badly, which leads to a very bleak ending. Overall, it's another solid film that's better than the novel it's based on. And for number 5, but my last choice, is Maximum Overdrive, based on the short story Trucks by Stephen King. First published in Cavalier magazine in June of 1973, then added to the collection Night Shift in 1978. Maximum Overdrive was released on July 25, 1986, directed and written by Stephen King. Plot. Earth crosses the tail of a comet that causes machines to turn against their human masters. First, a bridge operates itself, lifting everyone who's trapped on it as vehicles begin to fall on top of each other or into the river below. Then a baseball game turns into horror when a vending machine begins shooting on soda cans, killing the coach. As kids flee the area, a steamroller bursts through a wall and crushes a kid. A newlywed couple are nearly killed when a semi-truck chases after them on the highway. However, cars aren't affected by this unless they are really old. Most of the characters either reach or are already at the truck stop / diner, the Dixie Boys. They become trapped when all the semi-trucks begin coming to life and kill anyone who tries escaping. Leading these murderous machines is a heavily modified semi-truck sporting a green goblin head as they circle around the truck stop, keeping everyone prisoner. One of the employees of the Dixie Boys, ex-criminal Bill, finds out his boss, Bubba Hendershot, owns a large armory in the basement of the truck stop after seeing him take out 2 of the semi-trucks with a rocket launcher. The next day, all the trucks are nearly out of fuel, and 2 vehicles show up at the truck stop, a bulldozer and an M274 Mule light assault vehicle armed with an M60 heavy machine gun. First, the bulldozer smashes through the diner. Bubba shoots back at it with the rocket launcher, only blowing its roof off. Then he and a few others are gunned down by the mule. When it stops, the mule sends out Morse code through its horn as one of the survivors, Deacon, who escaped the baseball game massacre, translate its message as the machines demand them to refuel all vehicles or they'll be killed. With no choice, the survivors do what the machines want. However, Bill hatches a plan to escape by going through the sewer system of the outhouse and crawling under the highway while arming themselves with all the firepower they can carry, while being hunted down by these machines. What I liked and what I didn't like. Killer machines all hell-bent on killing every human inside while having a soundtrack by AC/DC. What's not more to love of Maximum Overdrive? Sure, the critics hated Along with King, but you know what? I don't care what they think. This is a fun film where you sit back, don't take any of it seriously, and enjoy the show. King takes his short story of trucks and makes it bigger, meaner, better. It's also kind of scary watching every piece of technology turn against its masters. A lot of good scenes in this film, including the baseball part. I always get a kick out of seeing that kid getting crushed by the steamroller, along with the Bible salesman getting smacked by the semi-truck trailer and his suitcase being crushed as well. And the opening part with the bridge was just great too. Doesn't have anything I didn't like. Just a fun 80s horror flick that I enjoyed very much. And that is it for my first top 5 list video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I definitely plan on doing more of these in the future. And that's it for today. I have just begun reading David J. Scroll's The Kill Riff. I'll be reading more this month and have a review out of it hopefully soon. Anyway, that's for the video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like it, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to October Library and the Facebook group with the same name, a place you can post, share, and review fiction. Until then, I'll catch you later.